Hey guys. I feel like it's been a bit of a journey, like internal journey today and over the past few days to get here. Um, yeah, throughout all the sharing I was doing, there was still what feels like an additional call, just being there all the time to and here's where I am still observing and actively wondering, call to what specifically. So it has to do with work or calling or passion. It has to do with like putting a stake in the ground. And really just saying, as a way of almost like claiming some territory, claiming some space for a specific purpose. And that purpose is to not able to find better words, to create space for people, for human beings to do their work, I would say. But to like to start, let's say, creating some kind of symbol or some kind of something a little more tangible than just an idea in my mind. And certainly there's going to be ideas in the minds of others, but starting to act out those ideas, basically. And then giving them a chance to express themselves, so to speak. Yeah. So I feel like at least at some point this should be some kind of collaborative effort. But for now, I'll just, stand here and like transmit the essence of the core idea. Okay. So I feel like this is a conversation that's already happening on various levels of our beings. Certainly has been a very important conversation within myself. Just, questions like, so how do we work? How do we, the world with all of its professionalism, like losing humanity or the aspects of humanity in the process, and not really coming from a place of actually reaching within and bringing the full human being that each of us is, not encouraging that, not empowering that, and frequently often doing the opposite. So yeah, then it feels like it's like every man for himself. Everyone just needs to find their own ways to create that kind of environment for themselves, and that kind of space for themselves, and represent that in some fashion in this world, and then work from there, which is fine, which is great. It's perfect that we can all do that. But maybe it's also time to like take this energy and I don't know, like bring it together, stream these energies together from more than just individuals, like doing more than just each individual creating such a space for themselves, maybe creating spaces like that together. And I mean, one image that comes to mind right now is like this idea that Ista, for example, is holding. The idea that we may want to, create something like temples again all over the world, where, intended as places for communities or the tribe to come together and practice living, with presence and awareness and with alignment with oneself, and in support and expressing the fullness of the human being. And yeah, to a degree it feels like I'm thinking about something similar, perhaps. I don't know if it has to be places. I don't know if I would call them temples, but the idea of work temples seems interesting. I'm just imagining what, an office or like a co-working space looks like right now, and then what it would look like. I mean, yeah, it's not such a bad term, I guess, work temple, where yeah, the it is somehow known or understood between everyone coming there that our work is divine or sacred in some way, that it's not just, well, I'm moving these things from here to there and those things from here to there, or I'm taking my body from here to there, or I don't know, it's not mundane, but it's that we are here with specific purpose and calling, and I don't know, like specialties and special skills and talents and all of those things, and where the, let's say, a goal or a priority or just part of us, really, part of our path is to more and more fully explore and express whatever we came here to do. And I mean, yeah, it's also not like, I feel like the way I'm saying this is super serious and everything, but it's also, like, yeah, it's not like super serious and it has to be professional or something, but that the things in the end we want to explore and expand and bring into this world are, as always, love, joy, passion, excitement, curiosity, exploration, growth, expansion, all those things, fun. And wouldn't it be amazing if, our work and all the intentions we have, and the meetings we then have together, and we could say the meeting of the minds and the hearts. And wouldn't it be nice if those were aligned with that? If a meeting was not like three people just talking to each other purely on this level, but it would be a meeting of fully present, fully activated human beings, acting in the best interest of themselves and everyone involved and touched in the end by this work that's going on. Things like that. Wouldn't it be amazing if in all the conversations we have, we would be driven by things like joy, love, purpose, passion, and would support each other in that. Spot each other as well, noticing when someone's not really present, when someone is. Someone's rest of the system is kind of shut down and they're only in their mind, and taking care of ourselves and taking care of each other, really being there, being present with each other, working from that kind of an energy and transmitting that kind of energy to each other, and thereby encouraging and empowering each other to work from that kind of a place. Yeah. Which is a lot of words to say, just, complete, whole, activated human beings. Just, I would say normal. Just normal human beings. It's just unfortunate that the current normal is quite far from that, and actually insane in many ways and in many places around our society in terms of work. So it's not really anything too special or too crazy going on, just a place and a space, whether physical or not, for humans to just be humans and be empowered and encouraged and growing as full human beings, not acting from fears and shame or guilt and greed and all kinds of negative things, and really also transforming themselves into more and more and more of what they already are as they are working and working together in these ways. This is, when I think about that, that would be normal for me, and that's how I work already, just mostly on my own in some ways, and some specific endeavors, but also being a presence of that kind even with those who would not even understand all of these things if I would attempt to tell them, but they can certainly feel, and they can feel the energy that's being transmitted, and what's present, what's coming from the person interacting with them. So and I'm sure that's making a difference, but I feel like So I feel like I've spent enough time just practicing that on my own, in that, yeah, that phase of my life is coming to an end, and I'm ready to step forward into a reality where I practice that, together with others who are on a similar path, in terms of, you know, being or becoming the full and complete and powerful human being that they are, and serving both themselves and the whole of the planet and societies and nature and everything, for the highest benefit of all. And enjoying the crap out of life while doing that. Yeah. So, yeah, this is kind of the kind of space that I am intending here, that I want to open up by just, being here, by just being present, with this kind of an energy. And then I'll probably just observe what it is I want to do while I'm in this space, and reflect and ask questions and find answers, and really also like modulate how I feel and the kind of energy I put into this, explore and create. And then hopefully it's going to grow from that. I mean, I'm sure it will. We'll just have to see exactly how and when, and that's going to be very interesting. Because as we know, everything we focus on grows. So if we have certain intentions and we feel really good and we just hold that energy for a while, things are going to happen. So that's part of what we're doing here, and what I'm inviting you to do together with me. So my software says that we have one viewer. Whoever you are, hello, welcome. And let's see, I'm just considering what I want to do now. I want to create. I want to feel really good. So the way I really enjoy working is by first just making myself feel really good. And by reflecting on what kinds of energies, just how I want to feel. Because ultimately I feel very simply that, and my experience is that the energy I put into something, so how I feel about something, or how I feel just whatever I'm doing, this is the kind of energy I put into whatever it is, just into my life, we could say. Could be specific aspects, but it doesn't really matter so much. Whatever I'm putting in is whatever I'm going to get back. And so I like to really make sure that I am deliberately putting in exactly those energies and those feelings and emotions that I want to see reflected back to me from reality as I am progressing into taking actions and producing things, creating things, tangible things in whatever way, or even just then like inviting, manifesting, like drawing energies towards me in whatever way. Doesn't always need actions that for that purpose, but often, like, and I mean, this is part of the fun, right, of being in the physical world and moving around here. It's fun to act. It's fun to really get yourself into alignment and then act from there. So the first question for me is always, what do I want to create? How do I want to feel? And so let's see if I can do the thing here. Bam, amazing. So I hope this is readable, otherwise I can probably make the font bigger. So yeah, I'll just pop open some kind of editor and just start asking questions and finding my answers. And it's interesting that I'm opening the editor for that, because usually I just do that just in thinking or perhaps speaking to myself. But right now I feel like so what's the question I want to ask myself? What do I want to create? Is that this is readable? Is this a good question? Yeah, it's not as good of a question, because the what leads the mind, my mind at least, let's say usually leads the mind to trying to imagine specific things, specific like situations and things that we might want to see in this world. And that's not really what I'm asking, what I want to ask. The most productive thing for me is to really start from how I want to feel. Like, always start from feeling good or feeling better. Like, invest some energy into that process of getting a good feeling momentum going. Like, it could be generally at first, and then spin that towards or enhance that towards specific aspects that you want to focus on. So that's kind of what we want to do here. How do I want to feel? So there's two things now. Number one is, specifically about the work I want to do or focus on now, and the other is about the space that I want to create or invite or yeah. So and this part is kind of, I'm having trouble finding some really good word here, because my intention is not as clear yet. So then I feel like I could just start with intentions, and these notes are not going to be very like linear, and they're not very important usually to have around afterwards. It's just the process, whatever comes up, however it ends up looking like, it's fine. I'm not going to worry about that. So my intentions, for this space, for this, well, what is it supposed to be? Like, what does space mean? Or like, what's a better word for what is the thing I actually want to create here? Aside from then, like, yeah, there's this space here, the the office, the new office, the new co-working space, the new organization, maybe. So just trying to tune into that, to what this really means. And okay, so part of it feels like, yeah, office, in terms of I do want to have spaces I can, just physical spaces that I can move into. Or maybe also then events, like, let's say, physical spaces to move into for some time while intending to focus on work. And I feel like putting work in quotes, because I feel like there's probably a better word I could be using. I'm not sure if I want to use calling, probably not profession. Certainly this is not about jobs. This is really about things that we are passionate about, things that we are driven to, things where there's just like this inner fire burning, and you wanna do something with that, with the energy that comes from there. It's really like feeding you from inside, and that kind of thing. And yeah, open for suggestions on what those things could be called. But I also don't dislike the idea of work if it's redefined properly, and it's not just, the old definition of work where, yeah, we all know what that is. But actually, something meaningful, something purposeful, something joyful, something that, really reflects and represents who you really are. You just do more of that, or you just commit to acting or decide to act on a bunch of that, who you are, and really bring that kind of energy into this world, whatever it might mean, like whatever form or shape it might take. So I personally kind of do like the term work, because I have redefined that mostly. Just make this a bunch bigger, because why not? Because we can. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I like the idea of just calling it work. So work. So physical spaces. That's one thing. So I don't want you to. Okay. Physical spaces. That is important. What does that entail? Because there's like, the things in there, like decoration, we could say, but really it's like all the things in there that contribute to a certain energy, that can be felt, that inspires certain things, that calls up certain important associations in every person coming into the space. Like really a deliberately created and maintained space that makes you feel, or makes it easy for you to feel in certain ways. Not just, some hodgepodge of various things in there and with no rhyme or reason, or in terms of intentionality, in terms of how it makes you feel. Like really intentionally created and maintained space. So that's one thing, and I'm not sure how I want to note this down, but the next thing that comes up is really the people in there. Yeah, when I mean space overall, yeah, the kind of people in there. And it's hard to talk about people without also. So when people get together, there are always, explicit or not, rules for engagement, rules for interacting. Like I feel like every person you meet, there's like a space between these two, and there are like things that are allowed, encouraged, discouraged, forbidden in that space. Including, all kinds of, the unwritten or sometimes written rules between us. Like what's okay, what's not, what are expectations, or how do we relate to each other, how do we treat each other. So this is like, I don't know, this is not a good term, but like social contract between the people, or social contract, or it's, just write down whatever comes to mind, rules, like the shape of the social space, rules of engagement, rules for connection, all these kinds of things, and these are all not terribly inspiring names for the thing I'm trying to describe, but yeah, perhaps just agreements, or the shape of this. Yeah, I already wrote it. This is not too bad. Social space, or of the like relating space, the space we are relating in. But it's not just that. It's not only about how we relate. Yeah, but it comes back to this idea that a space has an intentionality behind it, which is both affecting things and people, but also expressed through things and people. Yeah, and perhaps people really also includes interactions between people, but I don't know, it doesn't really matter so much probably. So really, yeah, why is this? Okay. I wish that. Okay, in fact, it stays. Alright. This is still too small. Yeah. Okay. So the space I want to create. Yeah, so what's important to me? What am I looking for? What do I want to... So in this case, I feel like it makes sense to ask the what question, because it's obvious that I have a certain image in my mind already, from which perhaps, I want to derive certain intentions and then how I want to feel, maybe. I don't know. Interesting. But yeah. And I mean, I did talk about the what initially, like roughly what this would look like, what it means. So yeah, a space where people are seen and supported and treated as full, complete, powerful, I almost want to say divine, though I'm not sure if I like that word, but human beings, right? Like when you move into this space, this is how you see yourself and the other beings you're interacting with. So in that sense, this is very much like a temple, we could say. Yeah, and then so this is the space itself, and then also where we focus on, our work individually and collectively, meaning that there is mutual support, there is it's interesting. The more I focus on this, the more I think like something like I'm using so many words and thinking so much, maybe, or trying to really focus in on something that's just so normal and so simple. And am I making it complicated? Does this like already exist and I'm not just not seeing it? Or I don't know, something like that. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah, let's see. I wanna put the notes in the background for just a little bit, because I find that writing things down and taking notes is, at least for me sometimes, it becomes like too much of a focal point, or too much of my attention is moving into that thing, and it's static, right? As opposed to ourselves, our beings, we are highly dynamic. Like our energy can move very quickly from one place to another, and like jump platforms and notes, something written down, anything that we really start to physicalize is usually a lot more static. And so putting too much focus on that kind of keeps us from being able to jump to the next platform and to the next one, and to keep going in our dynamic ways. So yeah, that's why I'm just letting that go for a moment, and let's see what happens. Yeah, cool. I think, yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe, the idea like a work temple is not too bad. Just as a very concise, very brief description of roughly what I'm looking for here. Yeah, why not? It's kind of fun. Um, yeah. Yeah, and I'm just reminded of I was reminded of an image that I had a couple of days or so ago, talking to my partner about what I would like a co-working space, for example, to look like, because I tried going to co-working spaces for a while, kind of when I was still early, kind of starting out, doing freelance work, just doing things on my own, and I just couldn't go there. And for some reason, we were thinking about what they might look like if I would design one and implement one, and yeah. Like, it would be something like, um, I mean, people would be naked, or that would be maybe one of the part of the some kind of little initiation ritual, of new people entering the space, coming into the space, that there is something symbolizing the dropping of illusions between each other, illusions and barriers between each other. There would be cuddling, there would be, like, you could be naked anytime you wanted to, and people would actually do that. There would be, just some space dedicated to cuddling and like recharging and really nourishing yourself, through, touch and just breathing. And there would be plenty of space for napping, or just, regular old, just sleeping, just however long that takes you to, recharge. I think that would be a very important portion of it. Um, you know, um, Movement would be a big part of. There would be space, to move in various ways. I don't know how, but because movement is also important in, staying in touch with yourself and your emotions, and letting things move through you, and also just staying fit and healthy and physically capable, stuff like that. Um, no idea what that would look like. And then there would be sharing going on all the time, maybe in, dedicated spaces, not like meetings or something. Um, Meetings would probably be extremely rare, because things would just happen synchronistically. Most of the time, when people are in tune with themselves and each other to a degree, things just happen synchronistically, and the right people talk to each other in the right moments whenever they need to, and things would just flow along in perfect timing. yeah, there would be high awareness of how you yourself feel, and then plenty of opportunities to, to share with someone else about, so it helps you have some space for whatever's going on inside of you, and the recognition overall that work is also a highly emotionally active process, in the sense that, yeah, I mean, for quite some time to come, everyone is still going to have at least some years of processing a whole bunch of old stuff that comes up, of old beliefs that do not serve us any longer, and all of that needs to be processed, and it needs to be like, you need to be available for these integrations or for these transformations to happen. So that would be a big part of that space, really providing space for that, and really being available for each other as appropriate, to help each other through those things. And yeah. Yeah. And there would probably be circles, just big circles, sharing, because we would all be going through many similar things, and one person sharing about something they're going through is usually a very healing experience for many others, going through similar things. Yeah, so there would be circles. There would be dancing. Damn. Things like maybe ecstatic dance. Also, this would be an opportunity to like open up the space, the work temple, to others wanting to come in, and take a, breathe in a little the energy um, that's there, and how do you say, yeah, just get themselves acquainted a little bit, and try it on, so to speak, for a little bit. Yeah, but there would be dancing like every X hours. There would just be, maybe that takes, maybe there would be like one space more focused on more focused work, perhaps, like more quiet, more calm, very little talking, perhaps no talking at all. Not sure. Yeah, perhaps. And then, some smaller spaces, and some other rooms with very good sound isolation, maybe, um, for, doing emotional processing, talking to each other, where there's more activity, more sharing, more, words also going on. And then definitely one space that's big enough for everyone at the same time to just go crazy and dance, dance and move and play, and I don't know, like wrestle, or I don't know. Um, and then where in the evenings also, uh, non-work focused temple space could happen. That might also be, or that would probably be open to, the larger community, coming in, or, the rest of the tribe to come in, and use, that space also. But dancing, yeah, like I think every maybe 8 hours or every 6 hours or something, there would just be half an hour of, just shared dancing, or other kinds of movement, going on, where, yeah, that just rejuvenates everyone, and brings everyone back to center, even from the biggest, things happening at different levels, like in the mind and stuff like that. Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Oh yeah, and there would be food, of course. There would be shared, like, just someone who's really called to passionate about food, or a couple of people, really taking care of that and serving the 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 work focused collective there. Oh yeah, and opportunities for, I don't know, like body work, massage. Yeah. Heaven for working. I'm forgetting I'm even like streaming, potentially talking to other people right now. I don't care. I'm just daydreaming the heck out of this. So enjoying that. That would just be brilliant. I would go there instantly. Yeah. Yeah. And probably it would be possible to somehow like tune in from remote locations to some things at least that are happening there, so you can soak in and share in the vibe. And because I feel like a lot of us are a little, at least, nomadic, and just move around, travel around a lot. And perhaps like once there's more than one space like that, there would be like connections, virtual connections between these spaces. So there's an exchange and staying in touch and staying present with each other and stuff like that. But I don't know what that might look like. Yeah, like some form of in touch, synchronized with each other, like really almost like the space and the people would be breathing together even while at a distance. Just keep the energy flowing in that way, in everyone who wants to. Yeah. Oof. Yeah. So that would be perhaps the physical representation of what I'm looking for. Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny, it doesn't feel like that far away. I don't feel far away from creating something like this, calling something like this into existence. I don't feel like this should be terribly hard. I feel like that's very like there's a very natural, straightforward path there. Which is sort of confirmed by me being able to imagine so much of that. Usually that's a big sign for me that something is indeed not that far away and it's in the process of manifesting. That'd be cool. So let's see, maybe I want to stay with this just a little longer and tune into how that feels, and that space feels safe. It would feel satisfying. And like, I don't know, life affirming or affirmative of the our nature, and yeah, like rejuvenating or nourishing, really. And I feel like this nourishment is really something that gets lost in modern business and work and office. And it's no wonder that so many people are talking about burnout, really, which really means like using up more sources than are being replenished. Um, yeah, being out of balance, out of harmony with essentially, wherever your energy comes from, it's not getting replenished. So the nourishing and replenishment of those resources, and like the empowering and encouraging, and this like really inviting and allowing the resources from within, that would be really powerful in such a space. And really be, I don't know, like carried and supported, not carried as in one person carrying another, but really like carried or encouraged and supported by the energy in the space, and by all kinds of small little interactions and with each other, and seeing each other in certain ways, and really being with that, being present with that, and expressing that, and really empowering, encouraging each other, having that shared perspective on who we are and how we work and why we do the things we do, and the growing and the exploration and the expansion aspects of it, like really allowing for so much more. Oh. Yeah. Imagine that kind of a business world, that kind of a professional world. This kind of thing just spreading across the whole globe and being just a network of fully actualized human beings, everyone growing and learning and supporting each other. Wow. Working from this awareness, from this presence with themselves and each other, and wow. I can't even imagine the effects from that, like on society, on social relations, on the economy, and like just blow up like a chain reaction of good stuff, of just wow. Insanely powerful. Crazy powerful. Like, I don't know, like an atomic bomb going off, but it's the bomb of human potential, human actualization, human brilliance, human just like, I don't know, like rain coming where there was some desert, or where it was very dry and nature just ready to bloom and to prosper, and like suddenly explosion of green and life everywhere. Yeah. And like like after so much, and the dry period is like all of the suppression of who we really are, and suppressing each other and really pushing each other down for so long, and then suddenly just reconnecting with self and with each other, and bringing that support everywhere, and that mutual understanding of who we are. And it's like with some processes and spaces that really enable that, and then just starting to grow and bloom and prosper, and wow. And the interesting or funny thing is that it's not that hard. It's not that special. It really isn't. It feels like it's right beneath the surface of all of us. It doesn't take that much to be able to realize something like that. Really doesn't. Perhaps, yeah, we've come far enough, and there's enough transformation that's already happened that this is kind of available to us, starting to be available to us without much effort. Oh. Almost feels like hard to stay in this energy for much longer, because it's like just filling me up, and I'm overflowing with it, and I don't know what to do with it. It's like I'm going to burst with that energy. Great. So yeah, actually I wanted to do some, as always, there was a certain intention, or I wanted to do certain things I thought I would do, but then the energy and life took me somewhere else, and it was perfect. And I feel complete for now. I feel like that was what needed to be accomplished. And this is enough for now, for today. So there we go. That's part of the vision. I wanted to say let's make it happen, but that's not really the most productive thing to do. Like, let's feel that, let's resonate that, let's just hold that kind of energy, just be present with that for a bit, and that's going to lead to inspiration for all kinds of things. But really resonating with especially a big or transformative or powerful idea is super powerful, super important. It's just makes it unnecessary to have to rush into all kinds of actions, but just really being there, really anchoring it, really like feeling it, taking root in the body, in your space. Really like breathing it in and letting it flow like wherever it needs to flow, and then things are going to pop up and happen and invite, and impulses are happening then and everything, and then yeah, it's also clear to see that then you're on the right track, because those things are going to feel, you're going to feel that resonance, we're going to feel that resonance and that particular pull, and it's easy to identify then that, oh yeah, this is where this is coming from. This is clearly an amazing thing to do. And that's the most fun then, to actually act on that. Yeah. Thank you guys for being with me. Yeah. Let's see what comes next. Love you all.